I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but I don't have any good news to tell everybody today. I have Frank Clark has been injured to start off. We're going to talk about roster cuts here momentarily. Frank Clark tweaked his left hamstring during training camp on Tuesday as we're recording this. He's getting an MRI. There's optimism for week one per Tom Pelissero of NFL Network. I'd assume he'll be fine. It's a few weeks from now. You really can never tell though with hamstrings. They're really, 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 really tricky, especially when you rely on being explosive like an edge rusher or a football player does. So Connor, what are your thoughts on the injury, and then what are your thoughts on what the Chiefs will have to do in order to circumvent losing Frank Clark for a little bit?
I think it's just another chapter of a very rocky time with the Chiefs for Frank Clark, considering his play, his stomach viruses. He had a great 2019 playoffs. I know I literally had somebody reply to me on Twitter as I said what I just said. They were like, but the Super Bowl. I'm like, yeah, okay. Well, when the rest of it's kind of bad, it's just you kind of have to weigh everything. And the best you can say is that it's been rocky. And the injury and the off the field stuff this offseason certainly doesn't help when people were hoping maybe he would follow the money and maybe have a great season because money was on the line. A hamstring injury is sure to jeopardize that, especially because they like even if you're healthy in quotes, I guess you could say, they kind of linger around for a while, is what seems to happen for players. So hopefully his doesn't, but that's hope, and we'll see if he's ready for week one. And I don't know as far as to replace him. I mean, it's just this, it's the same guys. One might have to step up and play better because Frank Clark's at least still a solid starting defensive end. But the Mike Danas, the Taco Charltons of the world will just have to carry the load a bit more.
Yeah, I'm with you. And we've had the conversation about, if Frank Clark is out, what happens? If Frank Clark's cut, what happens? If Frank Clark gets suspended, what happens? This is just another example of something that can happen. We didn't even entertain an injury with Frank Clark, which is something that he hasn't been healthy for the greater part of 2 years now. Like, he's not a guy that
Yeah.
even he'll get out on the field, he will play. But he just isn't always as reliable as the Chiefs would want. So with Frank Clark, man, I feel for him. Obviously, you never want to see somebody get hurt. Hamstrings are very tricky. They linger around. Week one, if he does play, that's less than a month turnaround with a hamstring injury. You can tweak it. Guys will come back from it and say they're 100%. They'll re-aggravate it one play in or 5 plays in or 2 series in, whatever the case may be.
The Julio Jones special.
Yeah. So it's just tough. If it was like a broken finger or like just knee soreness or something like that, you can get over it or take some time off and come back. Hamstrings, you can do it, but the odds are that if you rush it, you might re-aggravate that again.
Yeah, and this is kind of why the Chiefs re-signed Alex Okafor. We thought they were going to sign a defensive end. They decided to re-sign Okafor. So it's just all the depth that they have there, which is it's decent, but I wouldn't say any of them I would be confident in starting. But at least they have depth there to where they can still rotate guys now. And maybe somebody like Tim Ward, who had a great first week of the preseason, can step up. I don't know. It's just they have a lot of guys there now. And we'll see maybe if one of them could step up like a Tim Ward or maybe Joshua Kane Doe, the rookie.